Namaste, Nick here. So I vowed to myself that every week I would make a YouTube video, and sooner or later I knew there would be a video that came up that was going to be really difficult for me to express because it would be a big idea that would sound somewhat grandiose and possibly like spiritually narcissistic. And I've hit it here, and today I wanted to address the topic of how looking after your body can heal the planet. Yeah. And I want to unwind it and give a little bit more background to that. So for my own self, I was never born to be like an eco warrior. That is not my role in this world, activism and so on. And yet I am aware that I don't know for sure what's happening to this planet. I don't know what the blueprint is. I don't know whether what we're seeing is the planet coming back to balance or going out of balance. That I can say truthfully. But I do know that the planet is made up of 5 elements, and that when those elements express out of balance, we experience imbalance in our ecosystem. So there are 5 elements, and I just want to go through the 5 elements, super basic, and I want to talk about what they look like out of balance in our planet. So the first element is the element of earth. It's the ground that we walk on. It's the stability that we have. When this is out of balance and there's just too much force in the earth, or what we would say is a rajasic energy in the earth, that looks like earthquakes. That looks like volcanic eruptions. That looks like landslides. That looks like soil erosion. So that's imbalance in the earth element. The next element is the element of water. When there's too much water or too much force in the water, too much rajas, too much of that forceful action in the water, then we would see something like a tsunami and flooding. The next element is the element of fire, and it maintains temperature. It's related obviously to the other elements, but the element of fire in its rajasic too much state looks like wildfires, looks like global temperatures rising, which of course has an effect on the water, it has an effect on the earth. The elements are all playing together. So when one of them goes out of balance, it has an effect on all 5. So disruption in the fire element, increased temperatures, more wildfires. The next element is the element of air. When there's too much air or the air is imbalanced, then you're going to experience frequent hurricanes, tornadoes, quality of air. And then the last element is the element that contains all, the element of ether. So the planet is held in space, in its own containment, in its own ozone layer. And again, there may be imbalance in that. Now, whilst many people are experiencing anxiety around the effects of imbalance in the elements playing out on this planet, part of their anxiety is the hopelessness, the feeling of not being able to control. Either they are going into a depression where there's that sense of hopelessness, or there's a sense of anger and frustration and about not being able to do anything. And that makes sense because you're just one person with this huge potential issue, right? All we're seeing is the way the elements are playing out. We don't know exactly what the template is. We don't know exactly where the balance is, because we're just this little dip in a huge cosmic unfoldment evolution. But we're experiencing imbalance in the 5 elements. And this causes us anxiety and feelings of helplessness and what can I do? Now, I can sense this in the air, and I believe that my work is teaching people around the 5 elements and how it is in their bodies, because whilst I personally find it difficult to see how I can help the planet, I can help my own system, my own planetary system. So the body has the same 5 elements represented in it. There is the element of earth, the element of flesh, ashes. If you were to burn a body, you become earthy, soily. There are the bowels of the body and the excrement of the body, which is earth-like. There is the skeletal system, which is the structure that holds the earth together, that holds the body together. So earth in the body is around the physical body, the bowels and the earthiness, like the actual physicality of you. From there, that earth, that container, holds water. And water in the body is not just the fluidity of the blood system, but also the reproductive system, the blood, sweat, and tears that are, and the lymphatic system that is moving around within the earthy structure, in the same way that a river flows over the earth in the planet. Then we have the fire element. The fire element is the body's temperature regulation, controlled by the thyroid, and then also inflammation in the body, which is often triggered by maybe a foreign body coming into the physical body, or also the nervous system or stress levels. And the other area that fire is represented in the body is through the digestive system, through the temperature inside and the acidic bile in the digestive system, in the gut. Then we have air. Air in the body is not just the respiratory system, but how we can move, the motor body. And lastly, ether is the container that my body holds in space. I am here in person, I am taking up space. So you are your own little planet. Now, I wish I could say that just by, balancing your own 5 elements out, you will solve the world's problems. I don't come here to say that, but I do come here to say that many of us do not view ourselves through the lens of the 5 elements. And my work is around teaching people how to have that lens. It's a lens that comes from the system of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the sister science of yoga, and it sees the world through the lens of the 5 elements, and keeping those 5 elements in harmony and in balance. And that's why there's a system of daily routines and seasonal practices to shift as the elements shift. So my job, my small tiny role in all of this, is to help to educate people around the 5 elements, how they cycle through a day. So certain elements are key at certain times, and all over they make a perfectly balanced day. If we do the wrong actions at the wrong times, it's like putting water into fire or fire into earth, right? We're mixing up the elements. So this work of mine is around teaching you to become conscious of the elements, first of all, how the big picture elements play out, how the elements play out in your own body. And then I teach around daily habits that align with the 5 elements. And this is called Dinacharya. If you're interested and you find this work somewhat of a kind of micro movement towards big planetary health, because you are part of this cosmos, right? If my belief is this, that if you can balance and become aware of your own 5 elements in your own body, which is absolutely manageable and doable and feels empowered and feels positive, then you're emitting a vibration out there in the bigger 5 element picture, that you're looking for balance, that you're looking for elemental ease. Phew. I don't know how I did there, but that's the idea, that the big picture is that you, being your small little self, can help to change the vibration of the planet and change the elemental balance of the planet. And so you can begin to balance out things yourself. This summer through July, I am teaching workshops, and the first of the workshops will be around fire, around your digestive system, getting to know your digestive system through the lens of the element of fire, and aligning your fire with when fire is highest in the day, and balancing that out, right? Balancing out your hunger and your satiety, like how to allow the fire to burn and when to put it out and how to put it out and what foods to put it out with. Then the next workshop will be around sleep, which is the element of water, and how to allow yourself to flow into sleep, right? To move from your fire of the day, the working, the focus of the day, and move from the element of fire into the element of water, so that you transition into this place of what I call moon magic, where you allow the healing quality of water, the washing away of water, to purify all of the stuff that you've been thinking about all day long. So getting rid of the stress and helping your immune system, right? The water is also in the lymphatic system. The next of the workshops, this is towards the end of July, will be around waking up in the day. So when we wake up at the beginning of the day, our mind is typically pretty clear. It's like having clear winds blowing through us, and how to maximize that, to set intentions and to put a color to the air that you're about to go out into. So it's about meditation and it's about purification. The last of the workshops towards the end of July is going to be around the earth element being your body. So how can you, knowing your body type, because each of us has the elements playing out slightly differently in our bodies, we call this the doshas, how can you move best for your type of earth? Just in the same way that some earth is super sandy and light and airy, and then you've got that real peaty earth. Not all earth is made the same. Not all physical bodies are made the same. So getting to know what kind of earth you have, and then moving it in a way that is adaptable for your own composition, right? The way sand moves is not the way that mud moves, right? So how much force do you need to make mud move if you have that kind of soil body? And how much force would you need if you had a more sand type body? It's just a really curious way of engaging in life. I don't come with the answers to save the planet, but I do know that this work and just my curiosity and engagement with this is doing some benefit. So I encourage you to check out my workshops, and as ever, please, if you have any questions, just send them to me, and if there's any topics that you'd like to hear me speak more on, then get in touch. So thanks for bearing with me in this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and remember that there is no separation between the planet that you live in and the big picture planet. And when you can integrate those, maybe there's a chance to balance your own elements out and help balance out the elements of the world. That is my hope. Thanks for listening. Namaste.